Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtedar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk to you about the love fest between Zohran Mamdani and Donald Trump. As you all are aware, Zohran Mamdani traveled down to Washington, D.C., to the White House to meet with President Donald Trump, and most people expected there to be fireworks. The right wing commentators in the United States, Republicans, were talking about the fact that Donald Trump was going to school him, scold him, give him the Zelensky treatment. But it was complete opposite. Not only it appears that Donald Trump is in love with Mamdani, he's smitten by Mamdani, and more importantly, the vibes that you got from both of them was that at least Donald Trump is clearly very impressed with Mamdani and seems to be even affectionate. The body language, the frequent gestures, which are clearly very supportive. Every time Mamdani was under attack from the media, which was trying its best to attack him, obviously on behalf of a foreign country, but they were also trying to also try and instigate and highlight the intellectual and ideological divisions between Mamdani and Donald Trump. But on all of those occasions, Donald Trump, number one, supported Mamdani, number two, defended him, number three, praised him, and number four, kept saying that Mamdani was misunderstood and apparently they have a common agenda. He made it very clear that affordability is a clearly shared concern. They are both interested in protecting and helping the poor in New York. And Donald Trump even went deeper than that by suggesting that there is a commonality in terms of voters as well as concerns, because he went on to talk about Mamdani's political idol, Bernie Sanders, and also his biggest supporter, and said as to how he had taken certain concerns about fair trade from Bernie Sanders, and a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters had voted for Trump, which is true, both in the 2016 elections and also in the current elections. In fact, Trump got an unexpectedly high number of votes in New York. And the reason for that was the lack of affordability in New York. Mamdani was incredible. He did not seek a fight, but he did not back away from his positions. He stayed on the message. And that is what was absolutely brilliant about him. It was like completely opposite. Trump was all over the place, but even Trump was on message saying that this guy is good for New York and I'm going to support him. So what were the three things on which they were in agreement? Number one, cost of living and affordability. Trump is absolutely thrilled that Mamdani is going to build new apartments and build new housing for poor people. Maybe Trump thinks that his companies will get a role, whatever it is, but he understands the importance of that and supports Mamdani in that. And in fact, I suspect that there will be federal aid coming to Mamdani. And because there will be federal aid coming, I think the New York State will also support Mamdani in his efforts. And the governor of New York welcomed this meeting, and she basically said that, well, all three of us can get together and make New York a better place. One issue on which they both bonded was reduction in crime. And Trump said, look, he wants crimes down, I want crime down, and that's great. He also acknowledged that they might have different ways of achieving it, but since they have the same goal, it is terrific. And then, of course, he did promise that he will provide federal support as much as he can to New York rather than taking it away, as Republicans were hoping that would happen. But the most remarkable aspect was the Trump's praise for Mamdani. He praised his campaign, and he said he basically admired the winner. He came from 1% share and went on to easily beat Andrew Cuomo twice. One as a Democrat and one as God knows what. So I think Donald Trump admires the fact that he's young, he's good looking, he's so articulate, and he is a winner. That is probably what I think Donald Trump respects more than anything else, unlike all the other losers that the Democratic Party these days is full of. And I can tell you this much. that if Joe Biden was president, I don't think we would have had a meeting like this in the White House, because Joe Biden would have been like Schumer. I have an ironclad support for Israel, even if Israel commits genocide, kills children, kills women, etc. I have ironclad support for Israel. That means nothing, no, nothing. Destruction of humanity, crimes against humanity will not shake my support for Israel. And that would also mean that I will not support Mamdani. So it's quite possible that if Biden was president, Biden would not only have not endorsed him, like people like Schumer and the other senator from New York, Kristen Gillibrand, and even Hakeem Jeffries, who did it at the last moment. So that's exactly how the Biden administration would have responded to Mamdani. But it is interesting that the right-wing MAGA crowd must be terribly upset. You can see already people are upset. They are upset on several issues because some of these very, very nasty right-wingers, both in India as well as in the US. In fact, saying nasty right-wingers is kind of redundant. Just saying right-wingers should include nasty in it automatically. We're calling Mamdani a jihadist, a terrorist of all people. It's like you can call Muslims anything that you like. And if you say something about Netanyahu or say Israel is committing a genocide, which is something that thousands of scholars of genocide and the UN reports have asserted, it is anti-Semitic and scary and horrible and unacceptable. But you can go ahead and accuse a Muslim of being a terrorist, even though he is the most popular person in the city of New York today. And there are no consequences to it. Anyway, the Stefanik, who's running for governor of New York, called him a jihadist. And when Trump was asked about that, he completely rejected it, saying that basically that's not true. I found him as a very rational person. It must be refreshing for Trump to meet a rational person in his office. I think going forward, this meeting is going to be extremely beneficial for Mamdani. I think he played it very well. This meeting was requested by Mamdani, and I think the fact that Mamdani requested to meet him, I think that alone may have won Donald Trump's approval and support. But to reiterate it, it was amazing to watch how affectionately and supportive Donald Trump appeared towards Mamdani, protecting him repeatedly from the nasty media and the questions designed to disrupt and cause tensions, and repeatedly. For example, there was a reporter called, you call President Trump a fascist. And before Mamdani could respond, Donald Trump said, that's all right. You can say yes. It's easier than explaining. So basically, Trump was not looking to have any kind of conflict. It appeared very clearly that he wanted this meeting to go smoothly. It upsets the Republican campaign strategy for 2026. This was going to be their biggest weapon, trying to say that all Democrats are rational like Mamdani. All Democrats care for human rights and international law like Mamdani. All Democrats, when they see a genocide, they call it a genocide like Mamdani. All Democrats are like Mamdani. They care for poor people and do not pander to billionaires. This was going to be the GOP message about Democrats, and they're paranoid because this is not who they are. This is not how they want to be seen. They want to be seen as defenders of genocide in Gaza. They want to be seen as running errands for billionaires. They want to be seen as pursuing corporations and not helping the poor. If they did care about the poor, they would have been behind Mamdani. There would have been no Democrat running against Mamdani after Mamdani won the primary, and every Democrat would have endorsed him, which they didn't. And now the Republican Party is upset that they cannot use this particular campaign against the Democrats. And I think this should also worry the Democrats, because it is quite possible that come 2026 elections, Mamdani's shadow will be much, much bigger, partly because of the way Trump has done this meeting. If Mamdani can govern in New York without getting into too much of conflict with Donald Trump, which is unlikely, because ultimately when ICE shows up in New York, which it will soon, there is going to be possible tension between the two. So anyway, I think this meeting went well. Once again, a major victory for young Mamdani. All the best to you. You are a rising star and an inspiration not only to millions and millions of Americans and New Yorkers who have supported you, voted for you, contributed to your campaign, but also an inspiration to all progressives who care about human rights, who care about dignity, who care about the poor people all over the world. In the past few months, I have talked to many progressives in Europe, here in Asia, in Hong Kong and China and South Korea, and also in India, even in other countries in India, in South Asia, like Pakistan, Bangladesh. Everybody is inspired by Mamdani, not only his vision and his ideas, but also his unbelievable victory with the positions that he has taken. That is important. He did not compromise his principles. Even in this meeting, he did not seek confrontation with Trump, but he did not back away. He remained on the message, and that is absolutely remarkable. Thank you for watching Khanversations. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share it with your socio-political network. Until next time, I'm your host, Muqtedar Khan. Take care.